Welcome to Private Equity Profits. Clifford Locks is a certified board of director, a trusted confidant to CEOs, C-level exec, and high-potential employees to help them clarify goals, unlock their potential, and create actionable strategic plans. Seth Green is the nation's foremost authority on growing your portfolio companies with direct response marketing. He is the founder of the direct response marketing firm Market Domination LLC. And he is an 8-time best-selling author who has been interviewed on NBC, CBS, Forbes Inc., CBS Money Watch, and many more. Cliff and Seth interview top players in the financial sector, focusing on private equity firms, venture capital companies, and family offices, discussing developments and trends shaping the industry. These experts will share with you how they've grown their businesses and increased profit, and how you can too. And now, here's your host, Cliff Locks.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Private Equity Profits Podcast. I'm Cliff Locks, your host. I want to thank every one of you who listens and views the podcast, and I hope for a great year for all of you and your families. I hope you all have learned a lot from the podcast, that we've had a lot of great experts who've lent their wealth of knowledge. Going into the new year, let's reflect on the biggest challenges for growth that business owners faced in 2022. The biggest challenges I saw for growth in 2022 for the private equity portfolio companies were rising interest rates in more volatile market environments and the supply chain challenges. As the Fed continues to raise interest rates to dampen inflation, financing costs for portfolio companies and their customers will increase, and access to cheap capital will become more difficult. Reach out to me if you need lines of credit, including true revolving lines of credit up to $500,000 and term loans up to $5 million for up to 5 years. I'm happy to help. The funds can be used for marketing, inventory and materials, payroll, bids on new jobs, renovations, and help bridge accounts payable. Additionally, the changing market environment led to greater volatility in the stock prices and other asset prices, which is hindering the internal sales growth of portfolio companies, plus increased cost inflating expenses. Private equity firms will have to be agile and strategic to navigate the changing landscape and ensure that their portfolio companies remain competitive and profitable. Other challenges for growth in 2022, including being cautious about the potential economic downturn, uncertainty in international trade, and the further spread of flu, RSV, and the coronavirus. Business owners had to contend with the increased costs associated with raw materials, labor, and services, with the need to finance digital transformation and remain competitive in the rapidly changing technological landscape. The portfolio companies were also mindful of the changing consumer landscape and need to develop innovative products and services to meet those consumer needs. Finally, business will have to remain nimble in face of incredible political, economic, and regulatory uncertainty. We can't just focus on our challenges. In 2023, we'll bring business portfolio companies, executive leadership, and entrepreneurs new opportunities, such as we do have a potential for a soft landing and improved macroeconomic environment under the Republican House control, and forthcoming investigations, continued technological advances, and more relaxed regulatory landscape. As a global economy recovers from the pandemic, businesses may experience increased demand for their services and products, leading to increased sales and profits. Additionally, technological advances such as artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things will make it easier to develop innovative products and services that meet customers' needs. Finally, regulatory changes may create more favorable conditions for business, allowing us to focus on the growth and expansion rather than being bogged down by bureaucratic red tape. Many of you know I share my expertise as a certified board of director and enjoy fulfilling board leadership roles. Consider me for a partner position in your PE firm and a board member of one of your portfolio companies. My thoughts on board responsibilities in 2023. The pandemic has also placed importance on having the right individuals sitting at the board table, as well as the process of how they are identified and chosen. Boards are being increasingly encouraged to have members with a diverse range of skills, industry experience, and perspectives to ensure they are equipped to properly identify, assess, and manage risks in a way that meets the needs of the organization. Finally, the pandemic has highlighted the importance of staying ahead of the curve and the need for board members to be prepared for the unexpected. To do this, boards are being encouraged to better deploy the tools of scenario planning and predictive analytics to help them prepare for the future and anticipate risks that may occur. This is a great way for boards to be proactive rather than reactive to potential risks. Overall, the pandemic has provided an opportunity for boards to better equip themselves with the right tools and resources to plan for the future and manage risk effectively. By taking the right steps now, boards can ensure that their organizations are better prepared for any future challenges. Organizations responding to the increased risk of recession should implement strategies that protect their bottom line and ensure employee retention where possible. In order to do this, companies should review their current operating model and identify areas where costs can be reduced without compromising quality or productivity. This could include streamlining processes, reducing overhead, and renegotiating supplier contracts and rents. Additionally, companies should consider investing in employee training and development programs and focusing on employee engagement and morale, which can help retain staff in the event of a recession. With the significant tech layoffs in the news, team members and their families are worried. Overall, organizations should prepare for a potential recession by being proactive in invoice collection, gain additional lines of credit, reach out to me if you need help in this area, and take measures to cut costs and protect their workforce. By taking these steps, companies can ensure a healthier and more stable future and minimize the impact of the economic downturns. Organizations are increasing their investments in employee development from both a career and financial perspective in an effort to retain employees and reduce turnover. Organizations often offer tuition reimbursements, student loan repayments, and other incentives to attract and retain top talent. In addition, many organizations are working to create a better work-life balance for employees, such as offering flexible working hours and remote working options. Organizations are also focusing on a more holistic approach to employee engagement. This includes building relationship with employees, creating a positive workplace culture, and providing employees with meaningful work. By investing in their employees, organizations find their employees are more likely to stay and become more productive and engaged. Finally, organizations are looking at new strategies for workforce attraction and retention. This includes leveraging social media to attract new talent and using technology to make recruitment more efficient. One of the companies I'm a board advisor has created an industry-specific online video training and certification program in marketing outreach to bring new prospective employees into the industry. This specific industry has over a 20% churn in employees, so this is an important contribution. And we're finding the client base, the OEMs and the manufacturers, are actually writing checks to support the content that's actually being shared into the community and helping with the distribution of that high-end quality programming. Organizations are also looking at ways to understand their employees' motivation better so they can tailor their recruitment process to be more effective. In addition, many boards are actively exploring new technologies such as blockchain and other distributed ledger technologies to help increase transparency and reduce the time and costs associated with manual processes. It is also becoming increasingly important for boards to understand the use of predictive analytics and artificial intelligence and machine learning to help their organizations better identify and mitigate supply chain risks. Organizations are also beginning to take a more holistic view of their supply chain strategies, focusing on areas such as sustainability, supply chain resilience, and ethical sourcing of materials and services. Finally, boards need to ensure that their organization has a well-defined strategy for responding to supply chain disruptions. This should include both short-term and long-term plans for mitigating the impact of such disruptions, as well as clear communication plans for ensuring stakeholders are well aware of the situation. Overall, organizations must continue to remain vigilant and proactive in order to meet the challenges of the ever-changing supply chain landscape. Boards should be continued to stay informed and engaged to ensure their organizations are well prepared for any supply chain disruptions that may arise. Our next topic is cybersecurity and data protection. Boards are being tasked with unprecedented attentions to cybersecurity and data protection in 2023. The rise of AI and Internet of Things have created an ever-growing list of risks that need to be monitored and managed. This includes everything from ensuring appropriate physical security to ensuring the security of the cloud-based systems being used. Even with the best cybersecurity measure in place, boards are realizing that the biggest risk to their organization is not from outside hackers, but from their own employees, so training and testing is important. Inflation scenario planning should also include forecasting and analyzing the potential effects of inflation as it applies to each organization's current financial state and future operations. Forecasting should focus on cash flow, capital investments, liquidity, labor, commodities, and other inputs. Organizations should also consider the impact of inflation on their customers' base and the competitive landscape, including assessing the potential for competitive pricing and product differentiation strategies. In addition to forecasting, organizations should ensure that their strategies are flexible and adaptive to economic changes. This includes having the ability to quickly adjust pricing, production, and marketing strategies to take advantage of any of these potential inflationary opportunities. Finally, organizations should maintain a close watch on inflationary trends and monitor their financial performance against those trends, making adjustments as needed. Another highly visible topic is environmental and social governance, ESG. As boards become increasingly aware of the power of ESG, they're placing greater emphasis on how the organization is managing its own environmental and social impacts. This includes such things as looking at ways to reduce the organization's carbon footprint, developing strategies to ensure social inclusion, and increasing the organization's commitment to responsible sourcing and manufacturing. Sustainability disclosures can help boards illustrate their commitment to the environmental and social responsibility and their long-term vision for the organization. Through these disclosure, boards can provide evidence that their decisions are based on holistic approaches, not just financial returns. These disclosures may include information about the organization's environmental, social, and governance ESG performance, such as greenhouse gas emissions and energy efficiency, or its commitment to gender equality and diversity. Additional such disclosures may include information about the board's ESG-related policies, such as codes of conduct, risk management policies, and plans for addressing human rights issues. By providing a platform for stakeholders to understand the board's commitment to ESG issues, sustainability disclosures to help to improve the organization's reputation and to build trust with the stakeholders. ESG done correctly can save millions of dollars in cost. The future is here now regarding AI and robotics. Advances in artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, and natural language processing and robotics make it easier for the organization to automate certain processes. AI can provide a powerful insight into customers' preferences and behavior, while robotics can automate repetitive tasks. CEOs will be tasked with developing strategies to leverage these advances and exploring how their organization can benefit from automation. They'll need to consider the potential costs and benefits of automation and how it will affect their existing workforce. Feel free to reach out to me. I speak about ethics in AI frequently and should be part of the thoughtful process prior to building an AI or machine learning automation. Some of you may know I have training in emergency services as an EMT, a hazmat technician, and a firefighter too. These skills were used in one of the 3 businesses I founded and sold to KKR. The auto shows I ran had hundreds of thousands of consumers attending these events and interacting with the facility management, fire marshals, police departments, facilitated a positive working relationship built on a high level of respect and trust. Post-acquisition, we ran 24 auto shows with tens of millions of consumers attending. So the next topic is dear and near to my heart. Strategic agility and scenario planning. The ability to pivot quickly and strategically in response to a rapidly changing market is more important than ever in 2023. Boards are increasingly looking to their CEOs to create plans and strategies that are robust enough to respond to any of the many potential scenarios they may face. The tactics for preparedness includes building response scenarios, including tabletop exercises, assessing potential risks and planning for potential activist scenarios. This should include identifying the potential risks and their likelihood and the impact, then identifying potential responses. Developing a crisis management plan, and the team should include a defined process for responding to activist events and the role and responsibilities of the crisis management team. Educating all stakeholders on the organization's potential risks and responses should include regular updates to the board and employees, customers, and other stakeholders on the organization's risks and plans for responding to activist events. Engaging with activists should include responding to their concerns on a timely basis. monitoring the environment for signs of potential activity. This should include media reports, social media, and other external sources. Building relationships with key stakeholders. This should include building relationship with employees, customers, the communities we work in, and investors, plus other stakeholders, and assessing their views and needs. Often just listening to their concerns can mitigate a challenge and create an opening for mutual understanding. Once the media gets involved, it can quickly escalate and spiral out of your team's control. So plan early and ask for help. What are your New Year's resolutions for 2023? Please feel free to reach out and let's collaborate. You can find me on LinkedIn. Just search for Cliff Locks. My website address is investmentcapitalgrowth.com. Again, that's investmentcapitalgrowth.com. You can email me at cliff@investmentcapitalgrowth.com. My direct number is 631-338-2114. Again, that's 631-338-2114. I look forward to adding value to your PE firm and portfolio companies. Contact me to start a conversation. I want to thank our listeners. I look forward to being back with you shortly for another episode of the Private Equity Profits Podcast. This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC.